Money Arata. Bitcoin has many advantages over traditional currencies. It is decentralized, it is scarce, free from the will of governments, secure, and involves little bureaucracy. Many people believe that Bitcoin will be disruptive for money, just like email was disruptive for the post, or digital music and streaming were for CD stores. It is a complete revolution of finances. But if Bitcoin has so many advantages, why is it not being used by more people? How could Bitcoin fail? On the one hand, there are thousands of cryptocurrencies in circulation with $1 trillion market value. So the statistics of cryptocurrency usage really are impressive. You see, gradually, more and more people are putting a portion of their savings into Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as a form of storage of value. However, the truth is that Bitcoin has not yet become popular. Just try paying at the corner shop for your groceries with Bitcoin. Ask to pay your rent in Bitcoin. Or ask your dentist if they accept Bitcoin as payment. The answer will probably be no. So the question is it worth betting on the future of Bitcoin? Or is it destined to fail? To make smart decisions, we need to understand some of the reasons why Bitcoin might fail. This is not financial advice. Please read the full disclaimer before proceeding. For now, Bitcoin is still complicated, unpredictable, and difficult to use. Anyone who likes technology or economics will know the many advantages of Bitcoin. It is a digital currency with a limited supply, without a central governing body, with clear rules. These are characteristics of sound money. But if you are not a fan of technology, or if you don't understand much about economics, Bitcoin is still difficult to use, hard to understand, and perhaps unpredictable in the long term. This is also true of all the other crypto assets, which are all the other cryptocurrencies. The fact that Bitcoin can depreciate 30% in just one day, it puts so many people off because the volatility is so high. But there are also elements preventing Bitcoin from becoming popular as a means of exchange. At the moment, who are the people who are facing the technical difficulties to use Bitcoin? Well, many users are the teenagers who like tech and highly motivated adults with a little bit of free time to understand it. But for most people, Bitcoin is still a difficult technology to understand and to use. This is not unique to Bitcoin. Every technology is hard to use at first, until the people get used to it and new developers make it more friendly. They improve it. The first cars were very difficult to use. Many people didn't see an advantage of trading their horses for a complicated machine. When the phone was first created, it was quite difficult to call someone. You had to go through an operator who connected the line, so the audio quality was really bad. Even the process of going online was much more complicated than it is today. As long as it is easier to use a traditional bank and state-owned currency, Bitcoin will struggle to achieve mass popularization. Banks and governments are not going to just stand by and wait for Bitcoin to become easier to use. Right now, they are creating new services. They're facilitating transactions and creating state-owned digital currencies, the CBDCs. So the first reason why Bitcoin has not become popular in daily use is because the technology is not yet easy enough for the average person. And even those who can understand Bitcoin also have a second reason for not using it: increased liability. Bitcoin empowers people. This is both an advantage and also a liability that scares a lot of people. Bitcoin's biggest advantage, decentralization, is also a factor that puts many people off using cryptocurrencies. The biggest advantage of Bitcoin in comparison to traditional currencies is the fact that there is no central governing body. There is no office. There is no government issuing currency. There is no bank asking you to fill out forms to be able to use or move your money. Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer network. This gives you the freedom to use your money as you please. And it guarantees that the rules of the game will not change in any circumstances. But choosing to use Bitcoin also comes with huge responsibility. Since there is no bank, you are responsible for the security of your own money. You are your own bank. So if you just write your password on a piece of paper and leave it, or you type it in an unprotected digital document that anyone can access, or if you lose the password, it is your responsibility. It is impossible to call a help desk. There is no central point of contact for Bitcoin support. You cannot sue Bitcoin to recover lost money. And this type of responsibility, the custody of your own keys, it scares many people. It is another reason why Bitcoin still has not become very popular as a currency. And on top of all of this, governments will crack down on the use of this technology. The current owners of the centralized power, they're not interested in the popularization of Bitcoin. Money was an instrument created by people for people, but over time, the state, the government, took possession of money. Issuing money is the government's greatest power, the greatest weapon to control the population. When Bitcoin was invented, right after the 2008 financial crisis, the main idea was to give control over money back to the people. This is why cryptocurrencies are closely linked to the ideals of economic liberalism, which supports less state involvement in the economy. Now, obviously, governments are not just going to be standing by and watch a new type of alternative currency grow without taking any action. That is why many countries are adopting laws and measures to make it harder to use cryptocurrencies. Some countries even ban holding or trading Bitcoin. Other countries prohibit the operation of the exchanges, making it difficult for you to buy or sell crypto assets. Some banks prohibit their clients from sending payments to the exchanges or even from investing in shares of publicly traded companies that hold crypto assets in their treasuries. All of this makes Bitcoin expensive and difficult to use. Fear and uncertainty, they create incentives for people to continue using the currency that they're already used to. Governments will not be able to stop the network from working in their country, but the limitations are strong enough to drive many people away from Bitcoin. Governments are now creating their own official digital currencies as a way to continue exercising their monopoly of power over money. The reasons why Bitcoin fails today are not likely to last for long. So those who adopt the technology early can reap great rewards. And this is the real reason why Bitcoin has not become massively popular yet. The technology is still difficult to use, many people are scared of the responsibility of keeping their own money, and the government wants them to continue using the official currency. It is likely that Bitcoin technology will become easier to use over time, and people will get used to the idea of custody, of having more responsibility over their own money. And if Bitcoin is adopted on a large scale, governments might have no choice but to accept cryptocurrencies as part of the financial system alongside their traditional currencies. When it comes to that, those who adopted Bitcoin in the early days will have a big advantage. We are still in the early days, so there is still time to study, to understand this new currency, and to be able to make conscious and well-informed decisions. Bitcoin has impressive usage statistics, but it is still quite controversial. Ordinary people are not using Bitcoin yet. The technology is still hard to use. The liability, the responsibility is pretty scary, and the government is not very cooperative. But soon all of this may change. Technology will become easier. The idea of being responsible for your own money will become more acceptable, more normal, and governments should eventually accept that private and state currencies will have to coexist. Will it really happen? Only by study you will be able to make a well-informed choice about what are the possible risks and rewards that you accept. And this is why I'd like to invite you to watch a special lesson from the Diamond Hands training at arata.se/Diamond Hands.